Hey everyone, Denise here. I wanted to give you a little preview of the January 2024 class. Now I do have just a regular shot of all of the cards kind of like this for the class to be posted. However, I wanted to give you a look at each of them. This time in January, instead of doing 3 classes for 2 hours each, focusing on 3 different products, what we're going to do this time, as discussed previously, is we are going to spend the whole day on the one product of the Spellbinders Be Bold Blooms etched dies. Now, these are not going to come with class because remember, I don't have a wholesale account. My friends with them were unable to secure this for me, but it does go on sale at Spellbinders. You are going to have to bring your own die. It is not provided in class, just as a reminder. So if you don't have the die, don't sign up for class. Also, you'll need to bring your Big Shot or Spellbinders Platinum or one of those manual die cut machines with you, not electric, because I don't have enough outlets and nowhere near where we're sitting for everybody to bring like a Gemini or an Anna Griffin machine or whatnot. So please be mindful of that as well. So please contact me if you only have an electric machine and you have the die and you still want to come to class, and I'll see what I can do. Please be sure that you do that before you pay because there are no refunds. I've also posted a list in pinned to the top of the card making group. So if you have any questions, you can refer to that. And of course, always comment or send me a message and I'll be happy to answer whatever questions I can. So we're going to focus for the whole day then on just this. Now I will tell you, it's a lot of cutting. It becomes a little bit tedious, but we'll get through it. They are so pretty when they're done that it was completely worth it. So I did it with 9 cards because normally, again, we do 3 per class. So I did 9 cards. So it was kind of like being in the class, the 3 different classes. So you're still going home with 9 cards. They're all different. Some of them may look similar, but they are all different. I used mostly close to my heart paper, so it's good paper that's going to stand up to things. So you'll get the paper that you need for the kits. You're also going to get a bonus cutting guide. So should you want to go home and recreate the cards, you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to just cut your pieces of paper to be the most efficient for creating these cards without actually wasting your paper, because that's really one of my pet peeves when I waste paper, especially when the paper is so expensive. Even with my own discount from selling close to my heart, the paper, it's really good paper and that's why I sell it, but it's really expensive also. So even for me, so I don't like to waste paper, so I try to make it as efficient as possible, which is where those cutting guides come in. So let me show you some of these cards then. Now again, these are not from a kit. I did take them off of either the Spellbinders site or Pinterest, or I did a Google search. I changed up some of the colors. I usually just followed the design that they had because if it looks great, why change it, right? But none of these are prefabricated. I did not get a kit from Spellbinder or any other place. These were all hand cut with the dies. The bases and whatnot, remember I don't make bases, I just kind of use the whole thing. The bases are hand cut. You will hand cut them, you will hand score them, you will cut all of these. There's no inking for this, so you don't need to bring inks or anything else. It's a pretty simple list for what you need to bring for this, so that will be posted as well. But real quick, it's again, like I said, your Big Shot or manual die cutter machine and your plates, of course. You'll need foam tape or foam dots. I popped some of these, so I ended up, if you can see here, using just regular like foam, there we go, circles in a couple different sizes. A pokey tool, naturally, because we're doing die cuts. And if you see that white there, yeah, you got to poke all those out. They're a lot smaller than they just looked. And so what I did was I got one of my old piercing mats and I used that, which was much easier. So if you're old school like me, you have a piercing mat, pull it on out and dust it off. If you don't, your flower shaping mats will do. Even your red foam mat, your red mat to do your stamping on, even that'll work, though I would use that as a last resort. Your flower shaping mat would really be better for that. You need your trimmer, of course, because you're going to be trimming your paper. The paper you have to trim, we're going to tell you what sizes to trim it, but the paper you have to trim. If you have a trimmer that has like one of those tonic trimmers and they have a replaceable blade, you may want to bring an extra one. I always threw one in my crop bag because you never know when the blade is going to start making the paper weird. And a rough edge isn't a big deal if you're cutting out dies, but it is if you're cutting out your cards. Liquid adhesive, and by adhesive I mean, of course, glue. And a fine point tip, be sure it's one that dries clear, like a Barely Arts or an Art Glitter glue. You want to bring a couple, maybe a sheet of 12 by 12 or 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 of just any kind of ratty paper that you have laying around, or paper that was not expensive, because I found that for some of the dies I actually needed a shim, and I just folded a piece of cardstock in half and ran it through with it, and it worked great. So not all the dies, but some of them. So you may want to do that just in case. I think you need a scoreboard. And then the other stuff is listed there, the usual things. If you think you need paper towels, bring them, baby wipes. You know, obviously, I think I said your pokey tools. So those kinds of things. So basic stuff, but not as much as you normally do because we're not coloring anything. We're cutting and we're gluing. So all of the paper, like I said, is provided for you. All of the card bases are provided for you. Anything that we're doing with other dies, you'll use mine, but you need the Be Bold Blooms in order to take the class. So please don't sign up if you don't have it, because again, there are no refunds for classes unless class fills and there's a 7th person. It's limited to 6. So if there's a 7th person that wants to come and will pay for your seat, then you can get your money back in the same way that you got it to me. All right, so here's one sample. And this one, I probably, after I saw it done, I thought like, oh, I probably should have embossed it. So you can emboss it when you're here. I did emboss a few. I used the same folder just because it was easier. But I love this. I love the way it came out. It's nice. It's simple. I know I might be the only person who doesn't do anything with their nails before videos, but you can see I was crafting, right? And then there's this one. Again, adjusted from, I think it was a Pinterest that I saw. I actually did not have Pinterest fails this time. I was really kind of surprised. So the diamond cutouts, those are my dies. You'll use them here. The paper and such you will use here. Same with the sentiment dies. All the sentiment dies are mine. You'll use them here. So this was the one embossing folder for the little cards. These are the A2 size cards. Now you can adjust them to make 5 by 7 at home if you wish. A2 is just a little bit easier to follow on some of the designs, and I didn't have to think too much. It's so much cutting. I did these in almost 24 hours, like non-stop. I think I had a 2-hour nap break and then a 3-hour nap break, and then I just went right back to it. So I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So this was the embossing folder I chose for that. And I'm going to keep this embossing folder out for you to use. I'm not sure if I'll have a variety for you or not. We'll see what happens. So again, you've got some different greens in there. You've got some different purples, some different pinks. So those are our A2s. This is the one that I first saw online that I loved and knew that we had to do this class. So this has now some blues. It's actually a blue-green in it. So we've got the gold. You know, I like the gold. We've got the gold back. So this is a slim line. Now these slim lines are, this one is 8.5 by 3.5. There's only one that's our regular 9 by 4. So here's this one. I know it's a little off camera there. So this die you'll cut here. That's one of my dies. So again, we've got some couple of different yellows, a couple of different blues going on, and just the darker green there. And again, you'll have all of the paper to cut exactly what I have here. So here we've got some different oranges happening with a couple of the different greens. This is not a red. I know it looks red. It's actually a very deep kind of orange. It's a retired color called Sunset. So that's kind of what it's like, that kind of orangey color. And this is the 9 by 4. So I threw in one that's kind of more masculine. I mean, I know it has a flower, but a little more masculine. And this is red. This is the same red, but close to my art has that two-tone thing where it's a different shade on the back, or hue. I'm not sure which it is. So I just flipped it over and it was different enough. And that's it. So these are our cards, which I am not afraid to show you online, because I copied them myself. So if you wish to copy them, I mean, they're on Pinterest. They're public knowledge, right? So I'm not afraid to show you the cards. I would never take a class without seeing the cards and what I was going to make. So I wouldn't expect anybody else to either. So there we are. We have our 9 cards. I hope that you'll join me on, I believe it's January 13th. It's a Saturday. Again, it's from 10 to about 4:30 or so. You can come and go as you need. You can take your kid to go. If you need to come late, you'll just pick up at the card we're on and do the other one or whatever you missed at home. If you need to leave early, then you just do the rest at home. There's the cutting guide. It's super simple once you've got pictures to follow. Easy peasy. I hope to see you at our first Ronkonkoma class in a really long time. I haven't done this at home in forever. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Remember, it's limited to 6 people. I'll put the information online. And if you have, again, the die cut machine, the manual one, and the dies already, and you'd like to join us, feel free to sign up. $35 covers all of the materials that you need to make the cards and the light snacks. Have a great day, everyone. Hope to see you soon.